Finish what you start. The book is narrated by Prabhakar's audiobook. Chapter number 8. Daily Systems for Success. Ned started his own software consulting firm. He was thrilled to be his own boss and did not anticipate that he would have any trouble managing clients, answering emails, generating leads, sending out invoices, performing his consulting work, and so on. At first, everything in Ned's business was great. He would wake up early, answer emails, and send out newsletters to generate leads. Then he would get to his normal job. When he had spare time, he would get back to email. Late into the night, he would be working trying to market himself while also working on his various projects. But as his business took off, suddenly his inbox was inundated. His list of projects grew longer and longer. Suddenly, he was completely overwhelmed. Putting in 12-hour day, at the very least, he struggled to catch up with emails, follow up with clients, send out invoices in a timely manner, and meet deadlines. He felt as if he were drowning. Angry clients would harass him, demanding to know where their work was. Seeing his desk would have made Maratha Stewart weep. Ned would spend up to 15 minutes looking for important papers or notes that he had made on projects. His home office was a jumbled mess. The room that he had so cheerfully painted and decorated was now a prison, where he spent almost all of his time. Ned himself looked even worse. He looked into a zombie and subsisted on coffee and fast food. His eyes developed deep bags under them. Then he realized that he was losing leads and losing money. Bad reviews began to pile up on his website and his freelancing profile. It looked as if his consulting firm was failing. What did Ned do wrong? He did not use a system. He relied on himself to get everything done and did not implement a way to organize and streamline his work to make it easier. He took on too much at once, trying to accomplish tons of goals each day without using a system to make those goals easier. Willpower is great to a degree. You certainly need it in your life to push you to be the best that you can be. But relying on your willpower and self-discipline alone to be successful can fail you if you rely on too heavily because you cannot push yourself past your maximum. Once you hit your maximum, your willpower and self-discipline cannot push you to move forward. Willpower and self-discipline are fickle and crumble when you become overwhelmed. The story of Ned is a great glimpse into what happens when you try to always push yourself to do things that you need to do for success in life. Overcoming the sense of being overwhelmed and overworked is not easy. You have to create an organizational system to make your success consistent, even when you are feeling glum and fatigued. Particularly in business, there will be days when the inertia is too heavy and you don't feel like performing the task on your to-do list. There will be tasks that you dread doing and thus cannot summon the necessary willpower. And there will even be people who try to block your success. And you may not always have the strength to fight them off. That is where daily system come into play. A system is a set of actions that you consistently perform every day in order to streamline your success and reach your goal. Unlike your self-discipline and willpower, a success organizes you and helps you perform your duties without having to push yourself. Willpower and self-discipline, on the other hand, only offer you strength to force yourself to do things. They do not give you a set of doing things or a streamlined list of actions to complete. A system becomes routine so that you do not have to think about what you need to do, but instead you just do it. The key to a system is to work on progress and consistency in your life, as opposed to working on your goals. For instance, let's go back to Ned and consider if he had used a time management system to split up tasks and make time for each task. He could have automated things so that he could have gotten all of his tasks done in a timely manner, with less stress, disorganization and confusion. Had Ned implemented a few simple daily systems into his approach to his business, he would have been more successful. Ned relied on his self-discipline too much. He just could not force himself to do so much work on his own. Working at maximum, he burned out and began to fail. For perspective, a goal is antithetical to a system because goals play a part in systems. Systems are a simple way to make sure you take the necessary action to reach the goal. They are not limited to one thing at a time, as goals are. Instead, they apply to everything you must do in your endeavor. Once you complete one goal, you can move on to the next one easily by simply following your systems. Systems will carry you through every single goal you set. Systems also protect you from failure even if you do not reach a goal. Say your goal for a day is to complete 1000 words of writing for a grant proposal. You use a system to help you get some work done, but you do not reach the 1000 word mark. That is fully acceptable because you still got some writing done. A system enables you to reach a better place, even if you do not meet your exact goal. From that better place, it is even easier to move forward and accomplish your ultimate goal later on. Every day is a chance to get closer and closer to your final goal when you have a good system in place. Ned focused on accomplishing a series of goals each day, such as generating new leads and finishing projects. He did not even implement any sort of system that forced him to perform the necessary action for his goal at a specific time of each day. Had he implemented a system and structured his work, he would have been able to tackle his goal in a timely manner instead of working in chaos and exhausting himself. Then his business could have thrived as he earned new clients and pleased old one simultaneously. Creating system begins with having an overall goal in mind. Then you can build the scaffolding that will get you there. Keep a scoreboard. The first type of system is to keep a detailed scoreboard for yourself. The heart of the system is that you will be far more motivated if you feel that you have the possibility to win something. You must see some type of gain to fuel interest in the project. Therefore, you want to keep score. People play at their best when they feel as if they are winning or losing. So be sure to demonstrate how you are progressing and winning. People play differently when they are keeping a score. If you are not keeping a score, you are just practicing. So start keeping a score today to provide automatic motivation for yourself and others. Here are some things you can do to keep a scoreboard. First, track your progress. Every time you get something done, check it off your list. Seeing your task checked off will give you a sense that you are actually getting something done. A big to-do list on a whiteboard mounted on a wall can help you. This is so motivating because people can visually see they are getting things done. And seeing what they complete makes them realize that the target goal is more and more possible. Another important element of the system is to celebrate small victories for you and those you are working with whenever you see a victory. The smaller the victory, the better, because it is a chance to motivate yourself and others. This also allows you to have an overall greater number of victories to feel good about and celebrate momentum with. Find every little small victory, be it scoring a new client or finding a way around an obstacle you face. Create friendly competition to boost this concept, even if you have to compete with your own past performance. Finally, always have an ultimate reward or incentive at the end of the project. When you meet the ultimate goal that you have set, reward yourself. Having some type of reward set up for when you hit your goal can give you something to look forward to, which pushes you forward even when you want to give up. Treat yourself to a spa day when you hit that mark, for example, or treat your team to a night out. This mentality is why bonuses work well to motivated workers in companies. An example of how to integrate the system into your work life is to create a list of things you wish to accomplish. When you check off an item on the list, have a small celebration, such as a pizza party for the whole team. Be sure to set incentive, such as bonuses or a day trip at the end. For every sale you want to mark it and celebrate it. View every day as a chance to rack up more points on your scoreboard. Time management. A time management system is essential to success for anyone. Knowing how to divide up your time and how much time to give to each task will help you complete goals on time. Time management is essential because it really helps you get things done by your deadline, and it provides motivation to follow through on task. You can set realistic expectations once you know the appropriate time frame for everything you do. To practice good time management, first set a routine for your work. A routine is a system that enables you to know what to do when. You know you need to start work at 9. For example, take deadline and other time commitment into account when setting up your routine. Be sure to set aside time for work, eating, sleep, appointment and other commitments. In addition, don't neglect yourself or you will hit your maximum and become too stressed to handle work. So be sure to also tend to your health, sleep well and eat right. Always assess your time needs on a project. Ask yourself how much time will something take. To get a better idea of your time needs, you can time yourself on certain tasks to get an idea of how long things take you at your normal, comfortable place. You should never feel hectic or stressed with a good time management system. So be sure to time yourself doing things at a pace that does not stress you out and give yourself some wiggle room for unforeseen issues that may cause you to need more time. Read over your daily task as the start of the day. When you get to work or even when you wake up, look over a planner and see what you have planned for the day. This helps you ensure that you meet goal in a timely manner. Be sure to account time for important appointments as well as the amount of time you need to do things related to your business, such as answering emails, attending networking events and having strategic meetings. Minimize distraction whenever you are working. Focus on one thing at a time. Multitasking and having distractions can drastically cut down on your productivity. Set a specific time to check emails. For example, instead of checking emails throughout the day, letting your inbox distract you from the task at hand. Also have a set time to focus on marketing or on networking. Lower your transaction cost. Transaction cost is an economic term for the cost you must expend to be in the market. Whenever you do something, you have some sort of cost associated with it. The cost may be monetary, such as an investment to start a business, or it may be emotional, such as an apprehension of embarking on a new business opportunity without knowing if you will succeed or fail. Or it could even be physical, demanding your physical prowess or labor. These are simply the cost or obstacle you have to overcome to play the game. Build a system around manipulating these costs to your benefit. Cut out the cost that tax you and make the gains you want convenient and easy. Make it harder on yourself to do unproductive things, such as procrastinating, by raising the cost that such habits will create for you. Meanwhile, lower the transaction cost on things you want to do more consistently. You want to encourage good habits, such as systematic work and time management, by making them easier for you so that they cost less. Meanwhile, flip the table and make bad habits like being disorganized, having poor time management, and procrastinating too expensive to entertain. For example, by being more organized, you have less stress and spend less time looking for things you need in the office. So that make it easier to practice this behavior. Find effortless meaning to organize your office without spending too much money and without taking too much time. Use a simple color coding system for papers and use boxes laying around the house to create paper bins that you label clearly with a Sharpie. This costs almost nothing, yet it saves you so much hassle as you work. Notice how the behavior of being organized become easier with reduced cost, and how that good habits make reaching your goal easier. You just cut down on your cost by reducing the taxation of being disorganized. Plus, you expended almost no money or effort organizing your office. Make undesired behavior cost too much. Train yourself to bad behavior as something that is too expensive to engage in. For example, raise the cost of unproductive behavior by forcing yourself to climb 5 flights of stairs, to smoke or eat chocolate or browse your phone. Let's look at how to generally manipulate transaction cost. The first part of this is to make good habits cost nothing. The reward must be greater than the cost of a good behavior. This is the only way to motivate yourself to make positive changes. For example, you might make it easier to be organized by spending less money on an organizational system for the office. And you can make it so simple to find things in the office that it reduces stress at work. Make bad habits cost a lot. You won't want to engage in bad habits if the cost outweigh the profit. A good example is to reduce unproductivity by making time that you spend not working lose your money. Consider how Ned could have reduced his transaction cost. The amount of work he put into his business became too much for him to handle alone, and he quickly hit his maximum, where he could not function anymore. By making work easier and being disorganized harder, he could have made his life and work much more efficient. He should have made his bad habits too expensive for him to afford and his good habits practically effortless. Gather all information first. This system is about gathering information, everything you require for a project before you even start the project. Find the information that is critical to the project and try to complete your research phase all in one go. This system saves you the time of trying to gather resources while you are immersed in your project. You can focus on project rather than on gathering resources and information. This removes the hurdles that halt momentum. You can use momentum to roll forward, making the project easier to perform as you are in the middle of it. Having to stop your work to find out information or find a supply can kill momentum. Momentum is when you work without stopping, letting each completed goal build on top of each other to make the next goal easier to complete. For example, before a big work project, you may need a team of people with certain skills or a single partner. You may need some basic supplies or a specific software. Even consider office supplies you will need, such as pen, paper, and have them at hand. Gather all the resources you need and have them ready before you even commence working. Also list all the information you will need before working, such as contact information for other workers and the deadline, so that you do not have to search for information while you are busy. Think of it like carrying all the grocery out of your car in one trip. In Gary Patterson's book Crucial Conversations, he suggested some of the information you must gather or access before you embark on any project. Assign responsibility. Ask who is responsible for what. Assign a name to each task that must be completed. This is essential for creating clarity. You want to have a leader, a person in charge of marketing, a person in charge of human resource, and so on. For every aspect of your project, find someone who can handle it. If you are handling everything by yourself because you are working solo, then delegate responsibility to yourself by splitting your task into different roles and then performing each of those roles separately at different times to ensure you complete them. Specify your desired outcome and expectations. Be very specific about what you want to accomplish and what you expect to do. Having a target outcome can guide you in success by making it clear to you what task you have to complete and how you need to work. Specify how much work you want to get done, how many units you want to sell, how much money you want to make, and when you want to meet your goals by. Go ahead and set clear goals that are both reachable and inspiring. For example, you may want to look at previous sales and say, okay, we sold 1000 units last month, let's hit 1200 this month. Determine the deadline. You probably have a deadline set by your boss or client. If you don't set one yourself, nothing will motivate you like a specific date when you must have a project completed by. Deadlines can give you a clear guideline for how to structure your time and when to meet milestone. Make sure to set a realistic deadline. Do not promise someone the moon and then not be able to deliver. You want to set a deadline that gives you plenty of room to complete something. Take into account potential setbacks and challenges that cost you time. Have a follow-up plan. You don't want to think of your current goals as the finish line because life goes on after you reach the goal. What happened after the project? What do you do next? Have a plan for the step to take once you complete a project and what goals to move on. This can motivate you as you have more things to look forward to. Also consider followings. Gather physical resources. You will need different things to get something done. Money, people, software, office supplies, materials. Find out what you need and obtain all of it. Identify obstacles. Knowing the obstacles beforehand can help you determine how to mitigate them. People will have a ton of enthusiasm when they brainstorm ideas. They see only sunshine and are eager to press on. When unexpected obstacles arise, however, their enthusiasm runs out and inertia sets in. Everyone involved knows what to expect and think of these obstacles as hurdles to overcome as a team, then morale will not be so heavily impacted. If you see no obstacle in your path, you need to brainstorm more to account for potential pitfalls. Back to our example of poor Ned, imagine how much easier things would have been for him if he had organized his resources and gathered information first. First, he should have organized his office, putting notes where it would be easy to find them when he needed them. Next, he should have found the software programs that would have let him automate emails, newsletters, codes, and invoices, which would have lessened the workload he carried by himself. Finally, he should have anticipated the volume of work coming in so that he could have managed his time better and handled his workload more efficiently. He should have set a deadline and made sure to meet them. He could have considered hiring someone else to take some of his responsibility had he estimated how much work he was going to gain. On top of that, he should have identified challenges and prepared for them, such as having too great of a workload. Then he could have mitigated these challenges with a bit of forethought. Gathering all of these resources beforehand could have saved Ned so much work after he launched his business. Daily systems streamlines work and cut down on the amount of willpower you require to plug on in life. They make actions systematic and therefore they encourage progress. You can avoid failure in your life by using systems to implement efficiency and forward progress. Don't be a Ned. Use daily systems to propel yourself into success. Takeaways. Systems are a set of daily behaviors. It doesn't have to be more complex than that. Systems stand in stark contrast to goals because goals are one of accomplishment, while systems emphasize consistency and long-term success. Keep a scoreboard for everything large and trivial. This keeps you motivated and striving toward growth and progress. Manage your time better by understanding how long things will take in reality and accounting for your own quirks and inefficiencies. Lower your transaction cost by making undesirable behavior inconvenient and unwieldy, while making desirable behaviors convenient and easy. Gather all the information and materials you need all at once and before you get started. This allows you to work interruption free and gather momentum.